Hello guys, my name is NaToSaphiX and today we have another video, and this time it is a team play tutorial, believe it or not. Now that was my phone, if you heard that you probably did. But what I want to highlight in this video is the fact that every single tutorial out there in CSGO is about how an individual betters his play. Now, even though individual skill level is very important, the most important trait a player can have is good team play. Now, I haven't seen a single CSGO tutorial out there actually talking about how to better your team play. And it's not just, the basics of communication, blah, 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 but it's like also to the core of not just being a good team player in, for example, a PUG, but actually bettering yourself as a team with your teammates in a proper team. So not in PUGs, for example, in leagues, ECA, RGN, SIVO, all these leagues that everybody can play, they're actually very, very fun and helpful, and that really betters your skill level. Now, there is this common obsession, and in my opinion it's very, very false, that the top fragger is always the best player. Now, people really, really like statistics, and obviously the guy with the best stats is the guy that stands out the most, but it is, a lot of the time, not the guy with the most frags that is the most important player. And the reason being that, for example, for an AWPer like myself, a lot of the kills an AWPer gets are more important than eco kills, as an AWPer generally don't get too many eco kills. A support player can maybe be the guy locking down a site single-handedly and helping his team to win that way. An in-game leader, you probably know what his job is. It is to make the strategies and make them work. And then, you also have, for example, a lurker role, and he usually gets good statistics as well, so I'm not going to be talking too much about him. But what I am going to be talking about in this is how to better yourself as a team. And one of the things that was the hardest for me when I started out playing Counter-Strike in a proper team was the fact that if you don't have a proper in-game leader, an experienced in-game leader, you will have trouble making strategies, and you will have trouble trying to actually get these down. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be telling you how to start making a strategy, and also I'm going to be showing you a strategy that I made some time ago. So I have written the making of a strat. Now, first of all, what you're going to be doing, and I'm going to be slowing down my words a bit for this segment, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be finding a basic idea. So what is your basic idea? Do you want to go a full B rush with 4 spies? Is this a 4 spy strat? Do you want the CTs to eat a fake, and so that you can have players go up through long, go through CT spawn, and kind of pinch the players on the B site? Do you want to fake going to the B site and then going apps? Do you want maybe this being an eco strat where you rush 4 players up, throw a bunch of smokes, and then have the bomb sitting in apps and hopefully managing to get a plant down on the A bomb site? You need to first of all find your basic idea. What is your goal? Set a goal and try to achieve it. There are various ways to achieve a fake, a 4 spy strat, an eco strat, or a 3-2 split, for example. But set a goal on what you want to do and then start making the idea. Now, you can further go into this idea by picking which 3-2 split. Do you want, 3 players coming up banana and 2 from CT, or do you want 3 from CT and 2 up banana? This is something that you obviously pick, but the next thing you want to be doing is you want to be throwing the proper grenades. Now, for this part of the tutorial, I will be showing you a strat, one of the many strats that I have made that are quite unusual, I'd say, but I definitely would think could actually work. Now, this is a strat I haven't done for a long time, so I'm going to be just trying out here. I think this is where you're going to be throwing the smoke. So it should be, yes, this seems very much like the thing. Then you want to be throwing a smoke from somewhere banana, and I can't remember it, and I don't want to find a new one, but it's basically the Fnatic strat where you smoke off the B bomb site like this, so you have a huge wall of smokes, and there's no gap in it. You can't see out, and that's kind of the idea. Now, this means that the site is kind of, what's the word that I'm looking for? Basically, the site can't shoot you. Is what it's disabled. The players from site are now disabled in a way. you want to get into the corner here at the car, the kind of smaller corner with the door here. So you're just gonna want to squeeze in. And as soon as you kind of hit something, you want to stop. Then there's like the last one of these poles sticking out, and the second to last one. In between, there's like a dark spot here, and it's not because I've shot it. It's just really weird that there is a dark spot. So I want to just be aiming at that, throwing a normal throw. What it's going to be doing is it's going to bounce once, twice, 3 and 4 times, and it's going to land right here. So you can imagine if we have a smoke screen here, what is going to be happening is that you can run in here. The site can't shoot you. You're blocking them off in CT spawn instead of having a smoke here, which, you know, you can't really push through, but you want to take construction control. So instead of having this smoke, you have a more kind of aggressive smoke that enables you to take over this area of the map. And for a CT, holding this is not very easy. What you could just be doing is, let's just give ourselves a flashbang here. What we could be doing is, you know, if this smoke is down, when you come around the corner, you just do like this, and this guy basically has absolutely no chance of actually killing you when you get out of this corner. Now, what makes this strat really good for me is that what we're going to be doing is, you know, we're going to be having someone fighting into the site, and you're also going to be having someone trying to, this is going to be 2 players, in my opinion, trying to take the construction area. So he's probably not going to be hiding behind this box, because this is a very unusual strat. He's not going to be playing this. So he's most likely playing this position, or possibly over here from garden, or whatever it's called. So because this is, in my opinion, going to be used as an early strat, you're going to be having most of your nades. So what I'm thinking is that you have a smoke here, and it's obviously not perfect. You have a smoke here, and then you have a smoke here. What you could be doing is, since you have so much time and space, because no one can really shoot you through these smokes, you could be doing something like this, where you Molotov up onto the wall, and then you Molotov this whole spot. So now he cannot play this position, and look how far out the Molotov goes. He has to run from about here, or here, to all the way out here before the Molotov kinda is not hitting him anymore. So he's taking a lot of damage. While he does this, if this is timed right, the players will be running around this corner, and he will be trying to get out, and they can easily shoot him. Now, when they take construction control, one more thing that they could actually be doing, I guess, is that they could be Molotoving like this. That was not a proper Molotov. Something like this. And clearing out this area, while still being able to actually go around the left-hand side here. So, what you've basically done is, by using that one Molotov, you've cleared out this whole area. He's probably not going to be playing here, but if he is, he shouldn't be too hard. It's not really a headshot angle or anything, and he's kind of locked in, so a couple of nades or whatever should do. If he plays here, well, you've already cleared out this angle, so all you're going to be doing is running up and pre-aiming this spot, and you will most likely, you know, use the peak's advantage to win this fight. And if he plays out here, you can simply bank off a Molotov like this, or something like that, and all of this area will no longer be of any use. And then you can come from the other side, while the smokes will now most likely have started to fade, and your teammates can try to attack the site through here. And, you know, since you've only used 3 smokes, you can obviously repop a smoke here if you want, and you then have much more control of the site than you usually do when you take B. Now, the brilliant thing that Fnatic did was they smoked off here and here. And then what they would do is they would run into a random spot here and just plant. It's very hard for a CT player playing in here to actually find the proper angle. That's the hard thing. And that's why they could always get the bomb plant, or at least often. But what I am thinking is that one of the rounds, for example, if you run this twice, you could be just, that's a really poor smoke. But you get the idea. You could be running in and planting the bomb. Whereas the next round, if you're only sending 2 players in to take construction, or maybe 3, the third player could be, I think there's actually a slight gap here, which you could be using to look through here. Or he could jump up here, and then jump up here, and kind of look over the smokes. And then you still have 2 players left to use. They could boost here, where, imagine having a smoke screen set up here. And this guy gets boosted, oops, up onto this thing, and all of a sudden he can clear dark spot, and he can clear this spot, and if there's someone here just waiting at the smoke, he can shoot him from above. So he's basically, like, this spot is shit, and if he's here, he can just jump over, shoot him in the head here. And he can clear out so many angles, and the players will most likely be focusing on the smokes, so they will have to make a drag to try and get this guy, except for maybe the dark spot guy. He can look here, but it's still kind of tricky, and he will obviously have to drag. So there are different variations to this right now. I use so much time on actually just talking about my own strat here, but what I kind of want to tell you, well, first of all, it's showing you a neat little strategy that you can use. There's no copyright on this shit. But what you want to be doing then is you want to be looking at throwing this smoke, and you're going to be doing it at 50 at the round timer above. So this goes and takes how much time to pop? It takes 6 seconds to pop. Then you want to be throwing this smoke, and you'll most likely be doing this with your teammates, so you don't have to throw them one by one. At 36, for example, and this pops probably more like 5 seconds. So you want this guy to throw it at 1 second before this guy, so that the smokes pop at the same time. Now, if they don't pop at the same time, well, you're going to be leaving gaps. And I mean, in this particular scenario, you could have the smoke screen here, and then have this smoke pop, you know, let's just throw it, and then have it pop something like, you know, at this timing, so that you can actually use these smokes, and then the third smoke comes in. But you want someone to set up with the Molotov, and Molotov this area, in good timing, so that these guys coming around the corner here will have this area cleared out. So, what you do when you make a strat is that after you've made the basic idea, then you need to find grenades. And when you found good grenades that can help you achieve this goal, the basic idea that we set from the start, what you want to be doing is you want to be getting the timings down. And this is not only timings on the grenades, but also kind of like not the timings on just making the smoke grenades match, but it's also timings on, for example, if you have a set flash. So let's see, yeah, before going into the site, we want to be flashing like something like this. So this pops right here in the big, yeah, whatever. It could maybe be landing here. But yeah, then you need to time this so that the players, they obviously need to know this, but they also need to time this very well so that they can actually utilize this flash. Now, the next thing you want to be thinking, well, not really the next thing, but what I wanted to kind of say is that when you find this basic idea, you want to be finding a basic idea for grenades as well. So let's say what you want to be doing is you want to be smoking off CT, and you want to be doing it from somewhere safe. Let's say it's a fake from A. Maybe you could go here, and you want to kind of build up a few rules for yourself. Well, it has to bounce not too many times, for example. It has to leave no gap. It has to be consistent, and so on and so forth. Now, smoking CT is a very small area, so it's kind of hard to leave gaps, making this much easier. But there would be times where, you know, maybe you need to find a smoke for coils. And well, what you want to be doing is, you want something that blocks out completely here. If he jumps up here, he still shouldn't be able to see anything. The only place he should be able to see anything is if he stands up here, because then he's very exposed. So, you know, instead of then finding a smoke for coils that only is like this maybe, where he can then jump up here, whoops, and actually see stuff. That was not the case, but you probably get the idea. Now, for this fake, for example, it could be, I actually used to have a way of doing this, something like this or whatever. Well, that almost worked actually. But, yeah, you probably get the idea. But kind of finding a basic idea for your grenades as well, so that you set up rules. So you don't just find a smoke that's not giving you what you want, but close. Because I've tried that a few times, some in-game leader making a strat, and he finds a smoke and it's not good enough. But he's like, let's just use this one because it's close. That's why you want to set up rules so that you don't get shitty smokes, okay? Now, the last part of this tutorial is pretty much what I've already covered. Practicing the execution. It's finding timings for smokes, flashes, molotovs, and finding out who looks where. So, for example, it could be, I just throw these smokes once again. I'm sorry I have to do this so many times. But the first guy in, for example, let's say he's got an AK. He wants to be clearing out this angle. Then I mean, there's really no reason for him to look here. He wants to be looking here if they've boosted. But also, when he goes around the corner here, maybe he just wants to be running anti-flash because they will probably be flashing out through these smokes. Then when he gets to here, he will be focusing on this corner. Then when this gets Molotoved, he will be focusing this angle first, then this angle, then this angle, and then this angle, and clearing out this part. Okay? Then when he gets out here, he focuses this angle. Then, in my opinion, this is a smart angle to focus because it's kind of, if you're sitting here, it can be quite hard to play in a sense. If you run too far across here, whoops, the guy will have a bit of a hard time. So yeah, but you know, finding out which spots he should look at and when and you know where he should look, if that makes sense. But this was just a tutorial. I've never done a team play tutorial because I'm kind of one of the guys who've had this common obsession with individual plays. But I want to know if this is something you guys want to see in the future. I have a bunch of, like, this is probably the worst of the strats that I've made, I'd say. I have a few very not next level. That sounds like I'm really I don't know. I'm very arrogant in a sense, but they're very new. Not next level, but they're very new in the sense that I haven't seen them used before, and it's kind of like a cool idea, in my opinion, that kind of sparked this interest for this strategy. But I could also be going over discussing how to play various roles in a team, like playing the lurker, playing the support, blah blah blah. But it could also be anything, and that's why I need you guys. I need you guys to tell me what you want to be seeing in this series for the future. And yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed this video, guys. Please do like and comment and subscribe if you haven't. My name is NaToSaphiX, and I'll see you in the next video, baby. Kiss kiss.